I don't know how many times I've walked through these doors. It's been lots. It's been lots, but here we go again. Have you been hospitalized and required surgery? Or an infection that required hospitalization? If you have, you know it can be a daunting and scary experience. But we're here to share our journey with you so you're not alone. This is the Spinal Cord Injury Center in the Long Beach VA Hospital. This is where Derek receives most of his care. We are Van Life Voyages. Join us as we show you how van life and being outdoors can lead to a more fulfilling lifestyle that is good for your health. Here I go! Here's a little recap to refresh your memory.
Yay, bad news here. Tomorrow's Friday, January 5th. I will be going back into the hospital to take care of some issues that have arisen. I had a pressure sore surgery a couple of months ago and it has failed. No one's exactly sure why, but I have to have it addressed. On top of that, I have a fracture in my hip that's not healing correctly. And yeah, so this is 2024. My plans for at least the next 3 months are gone.
To continue to heal, those are your plans.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
But hopefully they can tell you more when you're at the hospital tomorrow. This next footage is from February when Derek was discussing his upcoming surgery and what they are going to do about his hip.
Yeah, it looks like what we're going to do is Wednesday is the OR day for orthopedics. And then they'll do they're going to remove the infected bone, close it semi, put a wound vac on it, leave me overnight, and then plastic surgery for spinal cord injury will come in and do true flap surgery. Pull some good muscle from this spot, shift it over here, drop up there, sew it up. And
Like the next day?
the next day.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be surgery Wednesday and Friday. Oh, excuse me, Wednesday and Thursday. So, hey, good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of like Disneyland on vacation.
Right. Be in vacation for months.
I know. I'm tired. I'm tired.
You've already been here 5 weeks.
I know. If I thought about it, I wouldn't have shaved at all. But I was about the third week I couldn't take it. I was like, oh. I shaved everything off and pretty sexy. A mustache. I look like Tom Selleck from Maggie and P.I.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I let it go. And here we are.
And the corn stash.
I'm here to fix your refrigerator.
Next clip is him discussing what he had discussed with the surgeons while signing his consent for surgery.
Because the resident was like, okay, sign here. We're going to change it a little bit. We're going to go from a Girdlestone procedure to a resection. And the resident goes, it's basically the same thing. And then the attending guy jumps in and goes, well, what we're going to do is a femoral resection and blah, 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 blah. And basically the same thing. I go, so what's the nuance?
Yeah,
what makes it different?
Yeah.
And the resection was a little longer, a little more bone. The Girdlestone is typically at the very top of the femoral neck. So they're going to go down a little lower, take a little more of the femoral long bone.
Oh, so you'll have less bone than...
Yeah.
Why? Because of the infection, or?
Yes. Because of potential infection. And I was just like, yeah, dude, whatever.
So your leg's gonna be shorter.
Yeah.
Well, whatever prevents it from happening every so many months that we've been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So without your hip bone, it'll be easier? Or the head of the femur?
Yeah. That's what the plastic surgeon said.
That the flap should go easier. Well, there'd be no bone to poke out through it, right?
No, or to work around when you're trying to move tissue.
Oh.
So
that's good.
We'll see what happens.
When Derek was diagnosed with a bone infection, I was terrified. He had just undergone surgery last fall called flap surgery from recurring pressure sores, and the thought of another surgery was overwhelming. After all, he was in the hospital for over 9 months last year. Please check out the playlist above for those videos about those hospitalizations. So as you can imagine, Derek wasn't thrilled with another hospitalization, but after consulting with his healthcare team, Derek decided that Girdlestone surgery, followed by another flap surgery, was the best course of action to both prevent the infection from spreading and to heal the pressure sore that was there. Due to the infection on the bone, the pressure sore wasn't healing either. During a Girdlestone surgery, the femoral head and neck of the femur are removed, leaving a smooth surface where the joint used to be. This will help alleviate pain and get rid of the infection. It's important to note that Girdlestone surgery is a major procedure that requires careful consideration. It is typically considered when other treatments have failed and the infection is severe. And if you pretend that red area was like the infection, that's why they would remove it. Derek had an infection and it was even farther down the bone, so they had to remove even more of the bone than's pictured here. By removing the infected joint, the pain and inflammation can be alleviated, allowing the patient to regain some function in the hip. This is what it looks like after surgery on X-ray. For Derek, the flap surgery was performed the day after the Girdlestone procedure. The Girdlestone was done by the orthopedic surgeon, and the flap surgery was done by a plastic surgeon who had to move around the tissues and reattach everything to support the hip.
I just really want to explain the complexity of this so that if you or someone you care about or one of your patients needs flap surgery, you have an actual idea of what that means. And the first part of it is cutting away the bad tissue. And I tell patients it's like if you had like a wormhole or a brown spot in an apple, you have to pare it back to the good part. You want to get rid of the bad. So I literally cut away the bad tissue. I paint, that's what that bluish coloration is. I paint the inside of the ulcer cavity so I make sure I get it all. And then I take the rind out surgically. And you can see how the defect changes removing the rind. So something that looks like a small wound, once you cut the rind away, the rind is often kind of it's almost like a balloon. It's like folded up in there, has sometimes a narrow neck, but then a big space underneath that you can't appreciate as well. So how much bigger the wound is after the removal of that tissue. And then I have to reconstruct, that's the defect I actually have to reconstruct, not the wound, but the resultant defect after excising the wound. So types of flaps. There are skin and fat flaps. That's called a fasciocutaneous flap. And that's essentially leaving the muscle behind. And then there's musculocutaneous, which is the skin, the fat, and the muscle underneath. But the important thing is it actually does need a blood supply. So there's two words in plastic surgery, big categories, graft and flap. Graft means that the tissue has been removed completely and then put down somewhere else. And a flap means that it has a blood supply and that blood supply remains intact and that tissue can be moved then on the blood supply. And I tell people it's like in your living room, if you have a lamp plugged in behind your couch and you want to put the lamp on the other side of the couch, you can only do that if the cord reaches, right? It's the same thing with flap tissue. I can only move it as far as the blood vessel will reach.
The days of the surgeries were nerve-wracking. The waiting was horrible. But luckily, I had my home on wheels for a place to wait and rest, and Desert Sage the Beagle to keep me occupied. Oh, wow. So, the weather's perfect. It's like high 60s. You can definitely tell how tired and stressed I am just by looking at me here. I got notified that everything went well when he went to the recovery room, and then I got to see him as soon as he got back to his regular room. Derek's surgery was successful and he is now on the road to recovery. But once they got results of the bone pathology, he indeed had a bad infection. Therefore, he had to have a PICC line inserted so he could receive a very strong antibiotic, for which he was on for a full 6 weeks to keep fighting the infection and preventing further infection. I am grateful for the care he has received at the VA hospital in Long Beach, California. While the Girdlestone surgery can be life-changing for those suffering from chronic hip infections, it's crucial to discuss all options with your healthcare provider to determine if this procedure is the right choice for you. After this surgery, most patients may need to use crutches or a walker while they recover and undergo physical therapy to regain strength and mobility. In Derek's case, he already has a spinal cord injury that requires him to use a wheelchair. But being in a wheelchair does complicate things because in order to sit in one, you need for the surgical area to be healed first so the pressure of sitting doesn't cause complications. He was bedridden for 6 weeks and now receives physical therapy to help him taper the time up he's allowed to sit in his wheelchair, starting with just a few hours a day and working his way up. If you are facing a similar situation, know that you are not alone. Surround yourself with a strong support system and trust in your medical team. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates on Derek's recovery. Be on the lookout for our next video on my stay at the VA's Fisher House, which is a home away from home for families of veterans receiving care there. I know it's not a Valentine in that way, even though it says Happy Valentine's Day with roses.
You're a liar. You're a liar. I think Mark Wolf. I think he's got a crush on me.
We all got one, so don't feel too special. Look at his face.
Thought it was special, Mark.
I already ate my chocolates, so there you go.
Mark Wolf, will you be my Valentine?
It's so funny. See you next video. Bye.